How did Kareem Zaid and Zhao win this match? In both cases, the match didn't start well. The first got an injury that slowed him down. The second lost his first round. So let's analyze those fights and let's try to steal some combinations or techniques for our sparring. Nice to meet you, I'm Lorenzo and I love to share my fight analysis on YouTube. If you want to improve your Taekwondo with more videos like this, click the subscribe button, click the like button and download the free ebook guide that I made for you. You can find it in the description or the first comment. So the blue started very aggressive with this combination and the red attacked with a beautiful roundhouse kick, or better, double roundhouse kick. If I am not wrong, Zaid has a shin problem, but in this case, I think he hit the blue's elbow. And if we rewatch his action, the blue was able to start aggressive just because the red let him start aggressive. Indeed, he cancelled the blue technique, but he didn't expect a punch after the side kick. Even if he hit an elbow, he showed us how to effectively throw punches. He first closed the distance, then stepped in. Now pay attention, with the front end, he covers the opponent leg and he gets his point. In this action is a little bit weird because instead of moving outside, he was able to read the opponent action and he was able to start first on the same line instead than go outside. Indeed, this is a beautiful front leg counter for this single reason. He was able to read the blue rhythm by waiting the first side kick, and then on the opponent intention, he was able to strike first by anticipating the opponent with a knife front roundhouse kick. He didn't score, but for sure this is something that we can steal. I got a combination that I can put in my pocket in this moment, cancel double kick that we watched already. He uses his first leg to stop the opponent technique and he strikes with his opposite leg. Is this technique effective to score points? I don't know, but this for sure is something that we can try and we can test in our Do-Yang. And maybe we can understand if this technique is something that we can use in our fight. The blue now want to come back, so he's going to play more aggressively, but in this action he clinch on the opposite side kick. Now that he's in the corner, he grabs his opponent and he flips the situation. So he's back on the center of the mat and he can control the match. At the end of this round, there is a technique that we can steal, or better that I liked a lot, and that's the cancel roundhouse kick. You block the opponent first side kick with your front leg and then you counter with your opposite leg. And the second thing that I like from this first round is that he does not stop to play after a single technique, but he tries to use multiple techniques. And in the last seconds he was able to take 3 points with an unexpected question mark kick, because probably the blue was waiting for a side kick, but he went for a high kick. In the 30 seconds he controlled the distance by using cancel techniques and dodging until he countered with the spinning hook kick in this moment of the fight. I want to just slow-mo a little bit this fight to understand if we can read probably some weird movement, and what I watched, you can read the possible spinning hook kick. On the spinning hook kick you are going to turn first your back shoulder, you are going to spin your shoulder and then it's going to follow the hip and the feet. But one clip is not a statistically relevant data, I was just curious about this thing. The opponent is forcing a lot of close combats, probably because he wants to strike points in the clinch, and he push to force a high kick in the close combat. So he was able to unbalance the opponent, so the red responded to this type of attack by forcing a clinch. So he forced to hug the opponent and he pushed the blue body so that he unbalanced the blue body, and the blue can't easily strike high kicks. For what I watched, the most common problem in those cases for maybe lower belts, maybe people that didn't compete at a decent level, is that people do not close with the right energies. So probably they are not decisive when they try to clinch, and if you enter with a weak attitude, your opponent has the chance to dodge and counter easily. So you are going to take a lot of risk if you do not act with the proper energies. There is another action that we can take is when the opponent starts with any type of technique probably. He counter first with a knife front roundhouse kick and close the combination with a middle roundhouse kick. And to take the victory, he played defensive. So in the last seconds, he just controlled the opponent techniques by canceled these side kicks, and then he ran away in the last seconds because he won the match, so you don't want to risk to lose the gap. Now let's watch the fight about Zhao, and compared to Kareem, Zhao is a human like us. He didn't achieve a lot, or maybe he started his career in those last international matches, so we can compare an high-level fighter with a lower-ranking fighter, or better, an experienced one against a less experienced fighter. For the first minute, the red is very defensive, and we will watch him to play the same for all 3 rounds. He's very passive. He plays a lot with cancel techniques, and sometimes he takes out few axe kick to close the distance or from a very close distance. So he uses passive strategies compared to Zaid that is more proactive or strike multiple techniques on every action. In this first round, he has some difficult situation, and if he found some very good action, so he was able to close the distance, and strike with multiple roundhouse kick. The blue open up with an effective combination that we can learn. He close with the side kick and strike with the punch. We watched even the previous match. This combination is one of the most common and most used combinations that you can learn, because sometimes it gives you 1 point, and 1 point is enough in most fights to win the match. A few seconds later, the red was able to take out 2 weighted kicks. He started first, he searched for the distance and he scored with a night kick, but that started as a middle kick and evolved into an axe kick, sort of a reverse question mark kick. In the last 30 seconds he continued to defend his lead, because in this moment he has a lead compared to the previous round, and he wants only to block the opponent's action with some side kicks, so that he can avoid the blue rush and he can take points for free. The third round seems the same of the first two. He has a slightly inclined stance, he's playing defensive and searching for points when the opponent sleeps. We watch even the same situation, people slowly walk in without getting too much in and then dodge if the opponent starts first, so they try to close the distance by paying attention and by slowly using steps to get close. Of course, they are not going to clinch by slowly moving, but they are going to rush in when they are in the right distance. In the last 30 seconds, he luckily scored with an inner kick, and to come back, the blue is trying to punch in every single situation, so he can block the red from a possible comeback. It works, so we can steal these strategies too. In the last seconds, he was able to increase the gap with the next kick. The opponents tried to come back with some roundhouse kick, but without any success. I think that most of us agree that the playstyle of Zhao is annoying, but if it works, we can't do anything about it. Probably we have even to copy his strategies. Based on this video, let me know what are the differences between those two players, and did you like the combination used by Kareem Zaid at the minute 1:33? Let me know your opinion in the comment below. In the top left corner, you can find an even more interesting Taekwondo video.